Well, hi, it's morning meeting time. The morning after the 2016 election, I woke up feeling terrified and shocked and angry, and also feeling a deep sense of shame, guilt, regret, because I knew that I didn't do everything that I could do. I knew that I had taken for granted that Donald Trump would never take the presidency. And that feeling of regret was close to unbearable. And so, my sister and I, and Allison and Dina and Abby, 40 days ago, promised each other that we would not have that regret again, that we would make that regret our resolve, and that we would do every single thing that we could do over the following 40 days so that we could look at ourselves in the mirror on November 4th, so that we could look at our children in the mirror on November 4th, so that we could look at our partners and our neighbors and our communities in the eye, knowing that regardless of outcome, we did every single thing that we could do to save ourselves, to save our families, to save our democracy. And you all joined us. And now here it is. As Abby would say, it's game day. I believe that for decades, people will ask us, what did you do on that day? People will say, who were you with? Where did you vote? What did you do on those days that were some of the most important days in American history? And I am going to beg you to be able to say that you showed up. I'm going to beg you to have a story to tell. Whether that story is that you voted early, or that you showed up on election day and you waited in a chair for 7 hours to vote, or 5 hours, or 2 hours, or 1 hour. I want you to have a story about the person who was behind you and in front of you. I want you to have a story about how you showed up. Do not sit this out. What you do is who you are. Do not sit this one out. Show up, have a story to tell. Our future depends on it. Our character depends on it. Okay, here are some things, my loves. Here are some things. Also, I'm going to come back here at 3 o'clock. I don't know what time. I don't know how I'll be, but I will show up sometime here this afternoon, gather us all together. We will get through this together. Today, tomorrow, the next day, I will keep showing up. I promise you that. Okay. If you have not registered to vote, do not use that as an excuse not to vote today. 20 states and DC offer same-day registration, including Wisconsin, Iowa, Nevada, Maine, and Colorado. Okay? Do not decide not to vote just because you're not registered to vote. Go to iwillvote.com to get all the information about same-day registration. Okay, for those of you headed out to vote in person today, it may be a long haul. You may be waiting for a long time. That's okay, that's your story, okay? Bring an ID, bring a mask, bring hand sanitizer, bring water and snacks, okay? Bring a chair. And this one's important. Bring a note card with this Election Protection Hotline written on it, okay? And we're gonna put it at the bottom, but this is an important number. 1-866-OUR-VOTE. 1-866-OUR-VOTE. Use it when you need. If you have any questions, if you have any problems, if you see voter intimidation, if a poll worker tells you you cannot vote, do not let a poll worker tell you you cannot vote. Use that number, okay? And be prepared to pass it along to anyone who needs it. Put it on some cards, okay? Whew. Okay, just trying to make sure there's anything else I want you guys to have. All right, reach out to a poll worker at your polling place or use the number if anyone is being intimidated at the polls, okay? If anyone's getting their citizenship questioned, if they're getting their voter qualifications questioned, or if there's any misinformation about what type of IDs are needed, any of this shenanigans that go on, call the number 1-866-OUR-VOTE, okay? There may be long lines, be ready, and please remember, important. If the polls close while you are in line, stay in line. If you are in line when the polls close, you have the right to vote. Whether it's 3 hours after the polls close, if you're in line, you have the right to vote. Don't let anybody tell you that you cannot vote, okay? If you make a mistake on your ballot, no worries, ask for a new one, okay? If the machines are down at your polling place, ask for a paper ballot, okay? You are entitled to a provincial ballot, even if they aren't in the poll book, okay? If you never received or you lost your mail-in or absentee ballot, please still show up at the polls today and tell a poll worker what happened. They may ask you to sign an affidavit attesting that you never received or lost your ballot. That's fine, but they will let you vote on the machines or by provincial ballot. If you never got a ballot mailed to you, go anyway. Tell them. They will let you vote. Okay. Also remember, sometimes poll workers don't know some of the less common scenarios that voters encounter, okay? Do not let a poll worker tell you that you cannot vote, okay? You always have a right to cast a provincial ballot no matter what. Sorry, provisional ballot, no matter what. Okay, so again, what are we gonna do if we encounter any problems or have any questions? We're gonna call 1-866-OUR-VOTE. Okay, we're gonna put the number in the comments. Please bring little index cards with this number on it. Pass it out to people who look like they're getting stressed out or confused. This is a good act of service, okay? I love you. I love us. We were made for such a time as this, for today, okay? We are gonna get through this together. We are gonna show up. We are gonna have a story to tell about how we showed up for ourselves, for our community, for our friends, for our families, for our future. Be one of the ones that show up. We can do hard things, and we will. We're gonna get through this day together. And we're gonna get through tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day. And then we're just gonna keep repeating forever.